What's up guys, Lon here from Android Authority, and it was bound to happen eventually, but we finally have our first 4K smartphone. This is your first look and hands-on of the Sony Xperia Z5 Premium. So starting with the design, the Sony Xperia Z5 Premium looks and feels a lot like many other Sony devices in the past. It has the same iconic design with a clean rectangular slab, and it's mostly made of metal and glass. So you have a metal frame around the sides, and then you have glass on the front and back. Like many other Sony phones as well, it's also completely waterproof. So the biggest difference with this device is that you'll notice that it's a lot larger than usual, at least for Sony standards. It's a 5.5-inch smartphone, and it's actually similar in size to the Galaxy Note 5, but it's a little bit taller and just a little bit thicker. But it does feel really good in the hand. The metal and glass does feel really nice, but like many other phones that have a glass back, it does tend to be a little bit of a fingerprint magnet. Now, the star of the show is obviously the display. So it's a 5.5-inch screen with 4K resolution, making the Xperia Z5 Premium the first phone in the world with a 4K display. And that puts out a whopping 806 ppi, which is totally insane. And with this pixel density and with this resolution, it's an extremely sharp and crisp looking display. It's also very vibrant, very saturated, has great viewing angles. The only thing I noticed was that it doesn't get all that bright, especially in comparison to something like the Note 5 or the Galaxy S6. It doesn't get quite as bright, so it's a little bit difficult to see outdoors. But otherwise, it's a fantastic looking screen, and it's something you really have to see for yourself in order to really appreciate. But to be honest, I'm not really entirely sure if I can really see the difference between a 4K screen and a Quad HD screen, but regardless, it is a fantastic looking display no matter how you look at it. The remaining parts of the Z5 Premium are pretty similar to the regular Z5. So inside you're looking at a Qualcomm Snapdragon 810 processor paired with 3 gigabytes of RAM. So performance shouldn't really be an issue at all. And in my little short time with the Z5 Premium, it seemed very fast and snappy and fluid. I didn't notice any sort of lag or stutters or anything like that. So it should be fast enough to keep up with the rest of the competition. For storage on the Z5 Premium, you're looking at 32 gigabytes of internal storage, but if that is not enough for you, there is a micro SD card slot to give you extra storage, and there's also a fingerprint scanner that is embedded in the power button. That is basically another differentiator with the Z5 here, and this is very different from all the other fingerprint scanners that we've seen, which normally have them mounted in the home button or on the back side, but having it on the side where the power button is definitely makes a lot of sense because that's where your thumb normally rests to power on the phone. So it makes a lot of sense to have it here, and it's actually really convenient and it works extremely well. It's actually very fast at unlocking the device, and setting it up is pretty simple as well. You basically just sort of keep on tapping on the button until it registers your fingerprint. It's very similar to other implementations that we've seen on other devices. Of course, with the rest of the hardware, it comes with the usual stuff that you might expect, like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, and just in case you are wondering, it does ship with NFC on board. Now, with all these power-hungry specs and the insane 4K screen, a lot of people are expecting that the Z5 Premium is probably going to take a pretty big hit in the battery life department, but obviously we can't really say too much about it right now. But the handset does have a 3430 milliamp hour battery inside, and that should hopefully do the trick. And Sony actually swears that the phone will provide 2 days worth of battery life on a single charge, but we're definitely going to have to wait and see if those claims are actually true. Now, although we haven't had a chance to test out the camera on the Z5 Premium, we do have pretty high hopes for it just due to the fact that Sony has a pretty good track record when it comes to cameras. And of course, this one happens to be a 23 megapixel Exmor RS sensor with a super fast autofocus. Some say glass is more important, and this camera is well equipped with a 23 millimeter wide angle f2.0 G lens. And if you like selfies, that 5 megapixel front-facing shooter should be good enough. Likely not amazing, but honestly, what front-facing camera is? As far as the software goes, you're looking at Android 5.1.1 with Sony's Xperia UI on top, and the Xperia UI will feel very familiar to you if you've used it before in the past, and it's a very close to stock Android experience with just a few Sony customizations put on top, like the small apps for easier multitasking and the built-in PlayStation integration, which is great if you are a gamer, but otherwise it's a very clean experience, and you'll definitely enjoy it if you enjoy that close to stock experience with a few extra bells and whistles. So there you have it, guys. The Sony Xperia Z5 Premium is posed to go against the big guys, literally, and it does seem to have all the right weapons for a good battle. Exact US pricing and availability is still up in the air, but do expect to pay a premium price. As always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up down below. We definitely appreciate it. And also subscribe to the channel, which is also down below if you haven't already. And if you want to see more here from us at Android Authority, make sure to check out the rest of the videos that we have here from IFA 2015. And stay tuned for more coverage because we are your source for all things Android and IFA 2015.